One of the finest examples of antebellum Southern architecture can be found in Demopolis. Gaineswood is a beautiful Greek Revival mansion that has been carefully preserved by the Alabama Historic Commission. The past has been faithfully recreated in Gaineswood, right down to the presence of a woman who died in the home many, many years ago. Visitors will find the home still decorated with its original furnishings, and should they linger before the grand rosewood piano donated in 1976, they might be treated to a concert of sorts. A concert the likes of which most have never seen, for there is no performer, at least not one visible. Demopolis was founded in 1817 by a group of political exiles from France who fled the country when Napoleon abdicated in 1814. The settlers were helped in its initial development by General George Strother Gaines, a Choctaw Indian agent. Gaines became Demopolis's first documented property owner. On his 480 acres, Gaines built a cabin, but by 1831, Gaines felt that a change was needed and he moved to Mobile. For 12 years, Gaines held on to his property. In 1843, General Nathan Bryan Whitfield, a grower of king cotton in North Carolina, purchased the land. Over the next 18 years, in what can only be described as a labor of love, Gaines' once humble cabin was expanded. Working from his own designs, Whitfield assembled a small army of laborers, artisans, skilled slaves, and craftsmen to create a mansion complete with a grand Corinthian ballroom and an Ionic parlor. When everything was completed in 1861, Whitfield took pride in his achievement. Its construction was not free of disappointment, however. In 1846, Whitfield's wife, Betsy, the mother of his 12 children, fell ill and passed away. Charged with the care of his burgeoning brood, Whitfield set about finding a governess for his children. Of all the applicants who presented themselves to Whitfield, Evelyn Carter was the most impressive. She was hired, and while she could not be expected to fully replace Betsy, the children took to Carter. Like an antebellum Mary Poppins, Carter brought a semblance of joy back into the Whitfield home, entertaining the family nightly with recitals in the home. Some nights she played the piano, on others it was the flute or the violin, but the most magical nights were when Carter sang and the home was filled with the soaring melodies of her beautiful voice. These were happy times in Gaineswood, but they would come to quick and unexpected end. Carter fell ill, and with her dying breath she begged Whitfield to take her body back to her home in Virginia, to be buried alongside her family. Whitfield promised to fulfill this task to the best of his abilities, but he could not keep his promise. Winter had already fallen and had rendered the dirt roads muddy and impossible to travel. The railroad didn't reach Demopolis for at least another year in 1862. Travel on the rivers was treacherous. Whitfield had no choice but to seal his former governess's body in a pine casket and store it underneath the cellar steps until the spring. Carter was missed. The house sat silent as a gloom settled over the rooms like a blanket of dust. So one can imagine the Whitfield's surprise when one night Carter sang again. From beneath the cellar steps came Carter's unmistakably beautiful voice, singing the songs that had served so recently to brighten the hearts and fortify the spirits. Unable to return home, Carter had chosen to do what she could do for the family from beyond the grave. Her footsteps could be heard, padding around the piano, at which point the piano would play by itself. Carter may have been dead in body, but her spirit was quite determinedly alive. With spring's arrival, Carter's body was moved to her family's burial ground in Virginia, but the paranormal events had continued to occur. Even though she lay in rest in the east, Carter's ghost remained active in Gaineswood, moving about the home as if death had never come. She continued to serenade the family, and the children could hear the sounds of her silk skirts brushing against the walls and her soft footsteps. Even after the Whitfields came and went, the home continued to be the site of eerie recitals. In the 1970s, restoration workers were working late into the evening when they heard the piano playing. When they went to check on the instrument, they found nobody sitting at its keys. And on those quiet nights when the wind is still, the moon is full, and the smell of absolute calm is in the air, people still claim they can hear Evelyn Carter's voice rising from beneath Gainwood's cellar steps.